Time to start.
Oh, Lord.
Bella's, of course, right here.
Yep, I see that.
But I'd rather her be right here because she's been being mean to Felix all day.
Yep.
Okay, because this part's probably getting cut out anyway.
Okay. Anyways, hi everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to another episode of our Two Sisters, One Brain podcast. I'm Vicki.
I'm Liz. This
and
is a pop culture podcast.
Yeah, we didn't say that last time.
Or ever, probably.
Yeah. We just talk about whatever we want. It's a whatever podcast. No, it's pretty pop culture.
Mostly some kind of entertainment in some fashion.
Yeah. Today we are talking about The Hunger Games. The first one. The very first one.
Very first movie, The Hunger Games. So I will certainly bring in stuff from the book if it's applicable.
Oh, you probably will. Okay.
I probably will anyway, yeah. That's true.
All right, well, first things first, I do want to say, that this is not a typical movie that I would watch myself. I literally only watched this movie for this podcast. And it was, I won't say excruciating, but I will say there were times that my eyes were literally rolling in the back of my head because I felt like I was about to pass out. Like
pass out from being tired?
Yes. Like I
or
was
were you having
out of my friggin'
were you
mind.
having seizures? Because
I was bored out of my friggin' mind. That movie is so much longer than it needs to be.
Really? And I actually thought it was, I mean, I didn't think it needed to be longer, but I was like, wow, the pacing's actually really good in this. I don't feel bored at all. But I just rewatched it for this. It's like, yeah, it's setting up all the information you need and going through things. Yeah, this is good. Good pacing. Good job, movie. Well, you're really going to hate if we do the whole series and you get to the third movie.
I probably will.
Because that one, I was like, well, they split the last book. There's only 3 books in the main series into 2 movies, and they did not need to. I was like, you managed to make the other 2 into 1 movie, and it seemed really well paced. And they split the second one because that was all the rage at the time. Plus, money.
Yeah.
So it backfired on them because it didn't make as much money.
Aw. That sucks.
Yeah. But I thought the first Mockingjay Part 1 was quite boring. Didn't set up, long chunks of just nothing.
Yeah, that's literally how I felt watching this. I mean, again, I know this is a popular series and people like these movies, but for me, I was just like, the first half of it, I'm just like bored out of my friggin' mind. I'm like, I thought this was like the Hunger Games. Like, aren't they supposed to be killing each other to like survive or whatever? And it's like, they're in the Capitol, they're just training to, get to wherever it is that they need to get to so that she can whatever. And I'm just like, I'm bored with this. Like, I'm literally bored with this.
See, sometimes I think you go into things trying to not like them. Vicki, give us your summary of the movie.
Summary plot, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the Capitol, I guess that's what I call it, the Capitol. They take 1 boy and 1 girl from each district. I call them poor districts because, they're all looking for food, And they take 1 boy and 1 girl from each district to play the Hunger Games. And in the Hunger Games, you have to fight and kill. Fight to kill, to survive. And so in District 12, I'm pretty sure is where she was from.
That's correct.
It was her sister who was actually called, but her sister's younger than her. She didn't want her to, go fight and possibly get killed and everything. So the main character, Katniss, she's like, I volunteer as tribute. So that's what she does. She's the very first person to ever volunteer for the Hunger Games. So that's what she does.
From that district.
Okay, whatever, from that district. She takes over for her sister. But I did want to point out, too, okay, that when that lady, I don't friggin' know her name, the Elizabeth Banks character, when she calls out the boy's name, Peter, she did call him Peter when she pulled his name out of the thing, but then Katniss started calling him Peta, and that's when everyone else started calling him Peta, too. Because when she first pulled the name out, she said Peter, whatever his last name is, and I was like, so is it Peter or is it Peta? Because
I think some people just say it in a way that sounds like Peter, but it's Peta. Like the bread, but not spelled the same.
But so, you know, then you have like a group of people from all these districts that have to get together, and they all have to fight each other and kill each other, because only potentially one will come out as the top victor and, you know, be reign supreme or whatever. So yeah, but that's not how the movie goes.
Was the movie.
That's not how the movie goes.
I was like, you're not done summarizing. Like, you're not talking about the movie now. You're just talking about the circumstances.
That's all I have to say about that.
As far as Vicky's concerned, that was the end of the movie. That was the whole thing.
That's my summary on the movie.
Well, maybe I should give a little bit more of a detailed summary for anyone who didn't read the book or see the film.
I did not read any of the books, so.
I know you don't read.
I don't. So, I don't like reading.
Anything that we, cover that's also a book. Any movie we cover that's also a book. Vicky will have not read the book. That's just how it's going to be. But there's no guarantee I read the book either. I mean, there's lots of things that have been made into movies or TV shows that are based on books. So there's only so much time in life.
Yeah.
Can't read everything.
True.
But, all right. So the summary is, yes, there are 12 districts plus a capital. In this world, it's a futuristic dystopian world. The capital has all the wealth, as is custom of people in charge. And then there was an uprising in the past, so a war. The, districts had all banded together. There used to be 13 districts, but the capital blew up the 13th one. Now there's only 12. And so you have the 1 through 12. I believe 1's closest to the capital, and then it just kind of radiates out from there. 12 is the furthest away, which is why they are definitely one of the poorest. They're a coal mining district, and they also have a lot more lax as far as like the peacekeepers, which are the people from the capital that keep things in charge there. So, and the districts also split up into the area that's where Peta's from. The part that like more caters to the capital people. It's a little more wealthy. And then you have the part that Katniss is from, which is the outskirts of even that, the seam. And that's where the especially poor are from. That's what we know. The books are all from Katniss's point of view. So when they do the movies, there's not a lot to go on outside of that. So anything that's not directly in Katniss's view is all just stuff she either assumed or it might have happened, might not have. Liberties taken by the filmmakers.
I did wonder. Oh, you still going?
Well, I didn't really tell the plot.
Go ahead.
I'm like you. We're just bouncing all around. I get too detailed. You give no details. Actually, you give details too, but just the stuff you want. All right, so for punishment, the capital, because capital obviously won the war when they rebelled, they made a treaty that each district had to offer up a child between ages 12 and 18 to fight to the death in an arena that would be televised to everyone, and only one person would survive. But that person is given wealth, and their district gets food and for that year. But they get food and money every year, and they get to move up in society. So they're venerated as a pseudo-celebrity. But mostly the same districts win every year. It's usually 1, 2 in the movies. It's Usually one or two. They're the career districts. And the other districts all have winners, but there's usually not. It's unusual for anyone to win from those districts.
Right.
So that's another reason why District 12, which is where the main characters are from, are, so hungry, because obviously if the whole community gets, a stipend of food every time that somebody wins, like they get more food, then because District 12 never wins, they don't get special treatment or any extra food. So everybody's really hungry and scrawny, and that's how it's supposed to be anyway.
Right.
So, Katniss and Peeta get chosen. They're the District 12 champions. They have to go to the capital. They do get training for, I think it said 4 days, and they do that. They're treated to luxury and everything while they're in the capital. They're all just chosen by random. Like, it's just random. Your name gets pulled from a fishbowl, basically. Mm-hmm. And Katniss's sister was unlucky enough. Her name was only in the bowl once, and she somehow got called. But Katniss volunteered in her place. I believe your name gets put in, like, once for every year you participate. So basically, if you're, once she turns 13, your name will be in twice, and so on and so forth. Plus, you can get your name in more times if you ask for more food for your household. So that's why Katniss's friend, Gale's name was in there, 42 times or something, he said.
Yeah.
That's obviously, his name's in there however many times for being how old he is, plus he's gotten food for his family multiple times. When they get to the capital, they're training, they have stylists, and it's a whole big pageant that they put on because it's all televised, and it's a big celebration. They're treated like pseudo celebrities by the people in the capital because this is their entertainment. This is how you keep people in line in the districts, but how you entertain the people in the capital. So it's just fun for them because it's never their people who, have to fight and die. They just bet on it and lose money or win money if the people they bet on won.
Right.
But once the games start, you're thrown into an arena. You have a bunch of weapons and food and different things. And luckily for Katniss, they're thrown into a forest setting, and she happens to already be good in the forest because she goes out and hunts in her district, sneaks out to do that. So she can do that, and she can use a bow and arrow. She doesn't get one right away, but eventually she gets one from one of the other people who were teamed up together to try and kill her because she made such a good impression on the judges who, again, put out these scores and everything for people to bet on, so you kind of know the odds and how good or bad a tribute might be, because the whole thing is just a sport. It's just like a fun sport. So it would be like, I don't know, all the commentators and everything that do sports stuff. I don't watch sports. Don't ask me. It's like if you gambled on sports and you listened to all the stupid crap about it and you knew. That's what all the judges are there for.
Jesus. Yeah. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh, he's being stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, Felix.
Well,
oh my gosh.
I guess he's okay.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Was that your summary of it?
No. The summary then goes, Katniss is fighting on her own. These other people had teamed up to try and kill her because she got a better score. She made a good impression on the different people in the capital based on stuff her stylist did. So I think 12 people died right at the beginning from other kids, other people slaughtering them. And then the people teamed up trying to get with Katniss, trying to kill Katniss. Oh, Peeta said, all right. Boy, we're way off base here. But Peeta, during the interview process, because they all go to this big interview to try and make themselves seem more appealing to the people watching, Peeta told... Yeah, get sponsors. Peeta told the host that he liked Katniss. Like, he's always had a crush on her. So it kind of sucks that he was, chosen the same time she was. And Katniss is just so pissed off about this whole thing and conflicted because she's been conflicted the whole time anyway, because he basically saved her at one point because she was starving because her father died and her mother was not being helpful at all. Like, she was just in such a depressive episode after her father died that she couldn't do anything, and they were starving, and Peeta threw her some bread, which kind of helped boost her spirits and helped her anyway. And so she's also like, I can't believe he got chosen the same time I did. This is terrible. I've already always felt like I owed this boy for saving me, and now one of us is gonna die, if not both of us. That sucks. But when he says that, she gets pissed off because she's like, what do you mean you have a crush on me? He had decided not to train with her anymore at that point, and it doesn't appeal to her. She doesn't feel that way about anybody because she's always just too worried about trying to survive. That's her main thing. Like, the only thing she really cares about is her sister. Like, her sister is super important to her. So when he says that, she's shocked, and she doesn't know if it's just for the cameras or if he really does feel that way. Because, again, this is all televised. And that's what her mentors and sponsors are trying to tell her. It's like, this is a television show. You have to make it entertaining. If you make it entertaining for the people watching, then you're more likely to get help in the games, which can save your life. So when the career pack decides to team up on her, Peeta ends up joining them, and she just gets irritated with that too. She's like, okay, yeah, it was just bull crap. He's just gonna try and kill me. Well, then one of the other tributes kind of has always liked her. It was just this little girl, Rue, and she helps her out when she gets cornered by the careers, and Katniss drops a beehive on them, and it kills one of them. She gets the bow. She's now in a better situation. She ends up teaming up with the little girl. Peeta kind of comes back at that point and tells her, she has to get away. They're trying to kill her. He's still trying to help her, basically. It's like, get out of here. They're going to come back for you and kill you. And she can't because the bees that she dropped on them were genetically modified by the Capitol and had venom in them, and she was stung multiple times as well. And it causes severe hallucinations, and she ends up passing out. But the little girl is helping her. She's teamed up with her. They decide they're going to, try and cripple the career pack. So they devise a plan where Rue is going to create a diversion, and they'll all chase after nothing, smoke signals. And Katniss is going to go and blow up a bunch of food and supplies that they have all stacked back where they all started the games. And Katniss does succeed. She gets blown up, a little bit hurt at the same time, but she succeeds. She goes back to find Rue. Rue is trapped in a net and is calling for help. Katniss goes and saves her, but one of the careers is also there, and he ends up killing Rue. And Katniss is devastated by this because she's just a little girl, 12.
She's probably about the same age as her sister.
Yeah, you could tell. She definitely thought of her just like her sister.
Yeah.
It's like she's just a little girl who shouldn't be here because most of these people are like 16, 17, 18. Mm-hmm. And then you have 12-year-olds also here. So you can guess they don't win very often when a 12-year-old is there. In fact, you find out later they've never won. The youngest person to ever win was 14. So anybody who's called younger than that always ends up dead. But when Rue dies, Katniss, is devastated. She gives her kind of a impromptu burial, which, she doesn't really bury her, but she lays her out in a very pretty way,
Yeah. She kind of does like a flowery grave.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then she's on her own for a little bit. But because she did that for Rue, it made complete unrest in district that Rue's from, because the little girl, she's just a little girl, and then when Katniss did this for somebody who wasn't even from her district, it sparked, whatever, a flame,
turmoil,
vengeance.
Yeah.
in them, because most of the district are not happy with their situation. They've all had to live this way in misery for 74 years at this point. So there's riots going on in that district, and that's not good for what this whole thing is supposed to be for, which is keeping everybody in line. So what the game makers decide to do is try and give people a little bit of hope and placate them a little bit by saying that 2 people can come out of the Hunger Games if they're both from the same district, which means a boy and a girl can always come out if they're from the same district. So that gives them, the ability to team up. Well, Peeta's still alive, so Katniss knows she has to go find him, because how could she not team up with him if they can both get out of here? So she finds him. He's very hurt, and they hide out for a little while.
He manages to camouflage himself so very well.
I know. That is the crazy part of it, for sure. He decorated cakes at the bakery, Vicki.
Okay.
You know how all the cake decorators we've ever known could easily camouflage themselves if they had to.
It was just such luck that he had all that stuff in his bag that he needed to camouflage himself.
What stuff? He didn't have that stuff. That was mud and dirt and rocks from the surrounding area. He didn't have a bag. He
painted his hair and everything?
With mud.
Okay. Well, that mud was white as the rock, because his hair was rock.
Yeah, he was buried under the rock. It's just good.
Okay, continue on.
All right. He's hurt. They hole up in a cave for a little while because he really can't do anything, because his leg is very badly damaged. So then the game makers decide again that they need to get everybody together, because they need to, they want them to kill each other. We have to get down to 1 or 2 people surviving. These people have to be around each other for that to happen. So they offer a feast, which is just something that every contestant needs. So each district has a specific bag that they all have something in it that they need. Katniss ends up going. She gets hurt there. One of the other contestants dies. The other district 11 person, which is the district Rue is from, saves Katniss and lets her live because she was friends with Rue. And so he's like, just this once though.
For Rue.
Yeah, for her. Katniss gets back. She's got medicine for Peeta. I mean, that's what they knew. It had to be that, because that was the only thing they needed. Because Katniss is a good hunter and can provide them food. So what else could they need? So Peeta gets healed. Katniss gets healed. She got hurt when she was there. They end up leaving because he's doing much better. So they're in search of food. Then another person dies because Peeta's collecting poisonous berries, which he doesn't realize are poison. He thought he was helping them by collecting berries, but they were poison berries. Then it gets dark suddenly, so kind of like, oh, I guess they want this to end. Then what happens is one of the other contestants dies, so now we're down to just Peeta and Katniss and one of the careers, Cato. He's been a thorn in their side for the whole time. He's the one that hurt Peeta in the leg, I believe, then with his sword. They release these mutt dogs after everybody. Peeta and Katniss run to the starting point, which is like cornucopia, but it's a big, huge building, like one
dome type thing.
Yeah. And they get up on top of it. Cato's up there. They fight for a while. They end up winning, knocking Cato off into the dogs, then kill him mercifully. And then they think they've won because, hello, that's what they said. 2 winners, 1 district. The game makers come back on and are like, oh, actually, we decided to revoke that. One of you're going to have to kill one of you. So Katniss kind of decides, no, we don't have to do that, because they brought some of those poison berries with them. She gives some to Peeta, and they're going to take them. And then the game makers are like, oh, we can't do that. We can't have no winner because the whole point is to make everybody believe that it could be them. Like, we could have a winner, you know. It gives them a little bit of hope that, you know, something could go right. But if you have no winner, that's just like devastation for everyone. And so they say they both won, but of course that really pisses off the president because they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have had two winners. And he didn't like that she had already kind of caused this rebellion in the first place in District 11. So he probably already was irritated with her specifically.
Yeah.
And so when she pulled that, it became an all-out, this girl is nothing but trouble. That's the summary.
That's pretty much the whole movie.
I know. I was like, that took way too long. And I still feel like I cut a lot out. But that's what happened if you don't like know anything about the Hunger Games. And again, probably way more information than is actually relevant, but hopefully people know what's going on to an extent who are going to listen to this.
I feel like I could have just sat here and listened to you tell it instead of me watching it, and I feel like I would have watched it.
I know, I'm such a good storyteller. Thank you.
Like, oh, okay. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh,
I know. Imagine if I really went into way more detail. You would have been engaged the whole time. That's what I mean. That's why I say you just go into these things looking to be bored. Like, I'm not going to like this movie.
No, I guess I wasn't expecting... Like, I mean, with it being called The Hunger Games, I guess in my mind, I figured most of the movie would be about them, like, fighting, like, the Hunger Game part, not training for the Hunger Game. Because it feels like the last of the movie, like, just the last half hour, 45 minutes of the movie is the actual game part. And It's like, So the other hour and a half, hour 45 minutes of the movie is all just capital BS that I feel like don't need to be there.
It's setting up the world. So Vicki just wants to watch a battle royale with children. She's like, yes. So I guess you want to be a capital citizen. You're like, I will just root on somebody that I want, and let's watch them kill each other, please. This is what I want from life.
That is what I pictured this movie being.
So you went into it with bad expectations.
I guess so, yeah.
And you were disappointed by them because you had too high expectations, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I kind of knew a little bit about the movie before watching it. Like, I've seen little bits of you and Mom watching it. I've seen little bits of Mike watching it. And every time I would see little bits here and there, I'm just like, yeah, this doesn't look like something that I'd be interested in watching. So I'd either fall asleep or I'd just leave the room because I'm like, you know, I'm not into it. So why would I lay here and watch it? And then, you know, we do this, so I have to watch it.
Hey, I gave you other options, and you chose this one.
I know. I did see that robot one though on Peacock, and I do think that looks cute. So we should do that one.
I know. I told you it does. I've seen previews for it for a long time, and I thought, oh, that looks like it's gonna be so sweet and sad. All right. So, what are all your hang-ups besides being apparently bored with the first half? And also not engaged with the characters at all.
Well, my first thing was, why does it have to be kids? Why don't they make adults fight in the Hunger Games?
Because it's punishment. Like, they want to demoralize the people. What demoralizes anybody more than you ripping their children from them and then making them fight and kill?
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah. There was a couple of things that I did like in the movie. Oh. Like, I did like her costumes. The first costume, you know, when they're on fire or whatever, and then they call her the girl on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that. And then the dress where she spins and it like lights up on fire. It's right. Oh, she does have cute outfits, so I do like that.
Good job, Cinna. You're a good stylist. That's what Vicki has to say. Again, Vicky's Vicky's just a capital citizen. She's like, yes, the style is amazing. Yes, put those children in the arena. That's all I want to see. I want to see them kill each other.
And that's Lenny Kravitz, right?
Yes, that was Lenny.
Yeah, okay. Who is Elizabeth Banks? What's her name?
Let's see, what is her name?
Okay.
Effie Trinket.
Effie, okay. And then who is
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Hey Mitch. He was the winner of the 50th Hunger Games. And he was from their district.
Okay.
Which every 25 years they have a special game, which of course 50 is the second one of those.
Right.
And they do something different for these, make it even worse than regular. Than the regular, let's take your kids and have them kill each other. And his was they took double the number of tributes. So there were 2 boys and 2 girls and 50 people altogether.
Wow.
Or however many the 12 districts equal.
That's crazy.
I guess 48, right? That's double 24, which is...
Yeah, 48.
Almost 50. And he was the lone survivor out of that many kids.
Wow.
But his is a whole other story, which they just came out with a book about his, and I can't wait to read that.
Oh, so they'll probably do a movie about that too?
Probably eventually.
It did annoy me a little bit how, the Capitol can obviously control the environment and everything, but how they only did it to her, like to try to, they say, steer her away from the edge or whatever.
Right.
But it's like that they were doing, could potentially kill people themselves. So It's like, just friggin' kill them yourselves. Quit being cowards about it. Like,
again, it's
it's
the entertainment factor too, because they want to entertain their own population in the Capitol. So it wouldn't be as fun if you were just like bringing them places and then shooting them. Where's the entertainment in that? But that's definitely a movie thing as opposed to the book. I mean, again, it could be in the book, but because it's all from Katniss's point of view, she just kind of felt like they specifically did that, but they weren't like shooting fireballs at her like they were in the movie. Like they literally, she just was like a huge forest fire, and it did push, but she felt like it was pushing her in a certain direction, which of course was back towards the ones that wanted to kill her the most.
It did make me laugh, that kid guarding the goods,
Yeah.
When the other girl came, up.
Yeah, I know.
Just grabbed her and ran off, and the guy's like,
did something just happen?
You're doing a good job there, bud. Keep up the good work.
I know.
Like, oh my God.
I know, and it's real good how Kato could just come and just snap his neck, no problem.
Yeah, right.
It's like, yes, it's so easy to just kill people. Snapping necks is no problem at all, I'm sure.
But at the end, though, I did wonder, was Brad actually going to eat the berries, or was he just doing that to kind of impress Katniss, or, putting on a show for the cameras?
Yeah. Or... Peeta is 100% in love with her. She's the one that's just like, he would have.
Yeah.
For sure. I am positive that he would have eaten those berries because he thought they were both going to eat those berries and just die together. He was willing to die with her, but I don't think she was really going to eat the berries. She was anticipating that. Like, I can't remember from the book because it's been a little while, but I think, she was like, there's no way they're not going to let us win. Like, not gonna have winners here.
Right.
I really thought I was going to react mostly to you, but then I thought your summary was so bad that I ended up talking for a very long time.
Well, if I knew that I could just tell the whole movie, then I would have done that. But
yeah, that's what a summary is. You have to give people enough that they understand what it is.
I didn't think you were supposed to tell the whole movie, though.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, you're not, summarizing the back of a book blurb or something. You're just like, you need to tell people what happened in the movie if they didn't see it, or what happened in the game if they didn't play it.
Yeah.
Or what happened in the song if they didn't listen to it.
Jesus.
What the picture looks like if they can't see it.
She's beautiful. Again, like, I know the movie has a lot, like, it's a big fan base and everything, and, people like what they like. A lot of people like Harry Potter. I've never read Harry Potter. I've never watched Harry Potter. If you're going to make me watch Harry Potter, then, obviously I'm going to have to watch it, but this is something that I would want to watch on my own. I would never choose to watch Harry Potter.
If you're going to make me watch it by holding a gun to my head, I guess I will, but I'd rather not be shot.
If it's for the podcast,
if I want to, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to enjoy it, but I'll do it.
You could try to enjoy it.
Those movies are, like, so long, though. And, I mean, this one felt so long, so I can only imagine how those will be.
I don't know if they are all that long. The first few might not be, but I don't care. I haven't rewatched Harry Potter in forever. Harry Potter's not one of those things I'm, like, dying to get back into just because J.K. Rowling's a real piece of and she's connected to all of them, and like ties herself very specifically to it. Same reason I'm not going to watch the show when it comes out. Like,
show coming out?
Yeah, I think it's going to be on Max. Weird. Yeah. Well, it's based on a long book series. You could certainly make at least 7 seasons, I guess, if you want to make a book a season, but who knows? Well, if you're starting with kids, you better at least do that, because the kids are going to grow up if you don't do that. And then you'll have to recast them that would be funny. Again, that's why if you're doing something like that based on a series, I almost think it's better to just animate it. Same thing with Twilight and stuff. It's like, if you were ever going to do that as a series, which there's not enough plot in Twilight to make it a series, but if you were going to do that, it's like, just animate it. Because you know what doesn't age ever? Vampires. You know what doesn't also age? Pictures of vampires, which is what an animation would be. We've talked about it before, but that's why Buffy's so funny to really watch. If you watch, from the beginning to the end, it's like, oh yeah, these vampires are immortal, but look at how much David Boreanaz has aged since he was probably early 20s, and now he's still supposed to be that age, but the end of Angel, he's like in his 30s, no doubt. If he wasn't close to 30 to begin with. It's like he's aged, spectacularly. He's obviously not the same young man that he was the first season of Buffy.
Not as immortal as we thought.
Yeah, exactly. Really? These vampires have been around for like 1,000 or 2,000 years? These ones? Because they look like they've aged in the past, 6 years. So that's crazy that they just all of a sudden started to age.
Yeah.
I always said if you wanted to do something, it was the same thing I said about Fallout, though they do have a Fallout series now, and though I didn't watch it, I would guess when they do their seasons, they're still going to use all the same characters. But what I said was what you really should do is more like American Horror Story, where you can keep the same actors, but just change the plot. Yeah. Because Fallout has such big section, Fallout's taking place in the entire world. So the entire world is now a nuclear wasteland. Everything's going to be different all over the place. They all have these different factions and everything. And you could do vaults specifically, which there are so many vaults that I'm like, you could easily do 1 billion vaults. And you could do them when people first went into the vaults, when they were doing the crazy experiments they were doing on them in all these vaults. Or you can do them living in the vaults today and having to deal with something going on in the outside world if something's going on, or just their life in the vault at this point in time, and make that a season.
Right. Yeah.
Or now we're going to Vegas and we're dealing with this section. Though probably not Vegas, because New Vegas is one of the games and a lot of people think that's the best game. Probably best not to try and mess with that in a series form. Just create a different place that they haven't made a game for yet.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing for the second season yet. I haven't really heard anything on it. You should watch it, though. I think you might like it.
I don't have Prime, that's why I didn't watch it. I watched the first episode and I did like it pretty well, because I could watch that for free without Prime.
Right.
That was it. That was all I could see. I really liked the ghoul. This is way off base for the Hunger Games.
I know it is. This has nothing to do with Hunger Games.
But like, I like that guy, and I was like, I liked his. Oh God, it made me cry. Like just because I'm that empathetic or whatever with stuff like that, and I could imagine being there and seeing that, and you're like, oh God, like this is bad. This is so bad. Yeah, so I was invested in his storyline, but he didn't get enough of it in the series. I was much less invested in the Vault Dweller. I was like, oh, this girl is dumb. And so is her entire vault. I'm just like, you all are freaking dumb. But I thought they did a really good job. So I was like, oh, those people are, when they, brought the other vault in, and it was like, oh, those are raiders. Those are raiders. You could tell those are raiders.
I was like that too. I was like, really? Y'all are, oh my God.
I know.
Whatever happens, you deserve it.
It was like, you could tell these are raiders. But I mean, they did a good job from the games, because that's what they look like. They look like hardened raiders, just in a vault suit instead. I was a little like, I don't know, if you managed to be a raider and you broke into a vault like that, why wouldn't you just like take over that vault and stay there if nobody else has been in there? Because they're stupid too, I guess. I mean,
Is President Snow in all of the movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Including the prequel movie, technically, though I haven't watched that movie.
Because I was like, oh, I wonder if he is in all. I can't remember when he passed away, but I was like,
yeah, he passed away more recently. Those movies have been over for a while.
When all these movies, came out. So.
They've been over for a while. But Philip Seymour Hoffman is in the movies starting in the next movie, and he died during the production of the movie, so he didn't technically finish out the last movie. They didn't, but he was in most of it. Like, the way they handled it, like the obvious one scene he wasn't in, they just had him write a letter and Hamish read it. So it like made sense. I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. And that's obviously the scene they didn't get to do.
Oh, damn. I liked him.
You liked who? Snow?
No, well, I mean, no, I didn't like his character.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I liked Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I liked Donald Sutherland, but I didn't like his character.
Right. You're not supposed to. He's the bad guy. No president is a good guy. No,
that's my man right there. Like, that's the dude I'd want to hang with.
That actually probably is, again. You seem to be like a perfect capital citizen. You're like, bring me the child murder, please. All this other stuff is boring. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the child murder, please. I want to root for my person. Bet some money. Yay, President Snow. You're the best. All the styles are great. Good job, Cinna. I'm gonna like order stuff from him because he is amazing. I
definitely would.
Exactly. I definitely would. I would be knocking down his door. Like, Cinna, you have to make me stuff too.
Yes, I need you to make me something.
Make it where it looks like I'm on fire.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably jump back into the rest of them at some point.
Yeah, not right away.
But I definitely need a break from them.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really planning on us watching them all right at one time anyhow. Yeah. But especially because it was obvious you didn't like it from the text I was getting when you obviously first started. But I was thinking that at the time. It's like,
uh-oh, you froze. Oh, you disappeared. Everything okay? Can't hear you either, so.
Well, you can probably hear me now because I said the microphone came back on, but now the camera's off.
Not working.
It says it doesn't recognize the camera.
Oh, good God. Back to that again, huh?
Yeah, just randomly.
Okay.
Who knows why? We're back.
Good old Skype.
I think it's just my computer, but because it came up on the computer that said it didn't recognize it. Well, this went completely differently than I thought it was going to, because I didn't like your summary, and then I summarized way too much. Yeah.
The cat in the background.
Oh, God. Yeah.
The heater and,
yeah.
and the camera.
Yep.
It's a fun podcast.
I know. And then the big deviation into Harry Potter and Fallout and TV shows and vampires.
Hey, we said at the beginning, this is a whatever podcast. We will talk about whatever we want to. Whenever we want to.
I'd like to see someone stop me from talking about whatever I want to.
We can put on the title, this is a whatever podcast. We're talking about this today. We'll talk about it for a little bit, and then at the very end, we will go on to a whole nother subject. That's what we will do.
I'd like to see you stop me.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't even go into it doing it the way we thought we were going to. I thought I was going to hear Vicki talk about things, and then I would just correct her or give her more detail. And instead I was like, Vicki, you did a horrible job. Let me tell everybody else what it's like.
Let me just do it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, as I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm doing a horrible job. This isn't going well. This isn't going well for either of us. Let's start all over. I'm going to stop this recording, and then we're going to start over and say, Vicki, just do it however you want, and I'm just going to answer whatever you have to say. Did you have anything written down? Did you actually take notes?
Oh yeah, I've been reading off my notes.
So at least you've hit most of the things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, you were reading your summary. You pretty much read off of my friggin' notes. So, like, you were reading everything that I wrote down, and I was like, okay, well, I ain't got to bring that up. Okay, well, I ain't got to talk about that.
Well, you should have brought all that up on your summary.
Again, in my head, a summary is just like a little portion of the movie of what happens or whatever, not the whole friggin' movie.
No, a summary has to tell all the major plot points at least, not just a little tiny bit. You stopped it. These two people ended up getting picked to go. That's it. You wouldn't even know what happened after that.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you know. Two people from District 12 got taken.
The end.
See why I thought it was a boring movie?
Oh, God.
This is why I fall asleep during it all the time.
Oh, Lord.
So that was the Hunger Games. I actually thought about coming on with, like, my pink wig and being like, Happy Hunger Games! Like a capital person. I could be from the capital too.
Can you?
No, not really. I would make a terrible capital person. I would definitely be one of the people in the capital that show up in like the later movies. Be like, yeah, that would be me. But we won't talk about them because you'll get to find out in the future, possibly.
Yeah.
We can ever convince you. Ever convince you to watch more of them. Well, if you hate the fact that the Hunger Games weren't in this movie, you might like the second movie better because I think I don't know. I think it's more Hunger Games, but maybe it's not. But when you get to the Hunger Games, it's definitely more interesting than that one. Okay. But you'll hate the last two because there's no Hunger Games in that at all.
Okay, fun.
Which maybe that's a spoiler for you and everybody else.
Spoils.
Sorry, everybody. I hate being spoiled about stuff myself. Even though they say that, actually, spoilers make things better. But I don't like it. I like to see everything and get it all, digest it all myself. Well, go ahead.
Sorry, were we wanting to talk about Stranger Things before the new season or after?
I thought we would do it after.
Okay. Because I mean, if you think that don't come out until October.
If you think I need to, good, we have a good October thing to watch then. Because Stranger Things is good for October. That might even be around the first half. The first season came out around that time, but I don't know for sure about that.
Second half is November.
Why? Why even split it up if that's the case?
Because apparently they're like almost movie length long episodes.
So, They are already filmed. Why would you need to split them up between 2 months that are right next to each other? October, November.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I saw. The first half's coming out in October, the second half's coming out in November.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's true. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Netflix being whatever. They probably get more subscribers or whatever, so they're doing it in 2 months, so that way they're like, you can't just sign up for this
for 1 month.
You have to pay for the second month too.
Yeah.
You have to at least pay for 1 month. Take that, everybody. I'm not gonna have a bunch of people signing up and then canceling right away.
Yeah, that's probably more it.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. But it's like, that's still only 2 months, so you're going to have 2 months worth of people, and then you're going to have a huge cancellation then.
Yeah.
Right before December. It's like,
yeah.
How does that help you? I mean, maybe their fiscal year ends in November. Who knows? Every company is different with that.
Okay. Well, this was Two Sisters.
Yeah, this was something. This was thank you for listening and watching this. If you did and stuck all the way to the end, because I think this was just crazy. This was almost as crazy as our song episode, which I thought was terrible.
No,
but thank you for listening to. Thank you for listening to that. If you did. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that song one was very ill prepared, and I don't know.
We'll try and do better on our next song thing.
Yes, we will do better.
I'll try and do better on our next movie thing. I thought this was like all over. Yeah, like, again, not anywhere where I thought it was going to go or how it was going to be. And then my summary, I'm like, dang, I just need like a summary right in front of me so that I can read it, because that was just all over the place and me trying to think of all the things that would be important for somebody to know. And then I go into too much detail on some things and then totally skip over others. And it's like, okay.
Let's get your together.
I know, exactly. That's what it feels like. Get your Or in a more positive note, like Princess Carolyn for BoJack, you need to get your together. Yes, I did. Okay. Thank you for listening and watching.
Thanks, guys.
This has been Two Sisters, One Brain, Pop Culture Podcast.
I'm Vicki.
I'm Liz.
Bye.
Signing off. Bye.